If a doctor's website has information that is inconsistent with what he has testified to during pretrial testimony, can I use that to confront him at trial? You want to know the answer? Come join me for a moment as I share with you some great information. Hi, I'm Jerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury trial lawyer practicing law in the state of New York. You may see some birds flying by, you may hear some noises outside. I'm shooting video here in Sanibel Island, Florida, where I'm on vacation with my family, and I have a few moments to share this great information with you. So now, one of the things that we do in preparation for questioning a doctor during his pretrial testimony in a medical malpractice case is to do as much research as possible. And one of the first things we're going to do is look at the doctor's own website. What information do they put out to the general public about what the doctor does, about his credentials, about who he is, and what they do? What if there's information on that website that is inconsistent with what the doctor testifies about when I ask him questions during his pretrial testimony, known as a deposition? Can I use that either to confront him during the pretrial process, or can I also use it against him at trial when I cross-examine him? The answer is yes and yes. I can use it to question him and confront him at the time of his pretrial testimony. But the way to do that is to ask the doctor a certain series of questions about the content that's contained on his website. I'm not going to ask him anything about his website. I'm just going to ask him questions. Doctor, did you do this, this, and this? Yes. Doctor, what's the standard of care when you're doing A, B, and C? What is the standard of care required now when you have a patient with this particular problem? And now I'm going to ask the doctor for answers to a series of questions. Then I can use the information on his website, if it's inconsistent, to now confront him. Say, doctor, you have information on your website that's open to the general public. Anybody can see that, correct? And you give that information out. Why? To try and attract new patients to come to your office. Isn't that true? And you are required to review that material before putting it out for the general public's consumption. Isn't that true? And now what I'm doing is trying to get the doctor to acknowledge and recognize that the information on his website is simply an extension of what he does, is simply an extension of what he's approved of. And if it's inconsistent, now I can use it to show that there are clear inconsistencies. Another strategy is to use it at the time of trial, where now, instead of telling the doctor about the fact that he's got inconsistent information on his website during his pretrial testimony, now I'll simply lock the doctor into his testimony about the answers that I've asked him during pretrial questioning. Doctor, isn't it true that the standard of care requires you do A, B, and C for this problem? Isn't it true you do this, this, and this? And doctor, would it be a departure from good medical practice if you fail to do X, Y, and Z? And now, doctor, let me show you information that you have on your own website. And now I can confront the doctor by showing that these are inconsistent. And that creates a problem for the doctor and the defense. Why? Because if it really is inconsistent, now the jury is going to want to know, why is the doctor testifying about something one way, but he's got information from the general public on his website that says something totally different? And that's a remarkable thing if we're able to find that. So why do I share this quick information with you? I share it with you just to give you an insight and an understanding into one strategy about how we can use inconsistent statements on something that's made available to the public when the doctor takes the witness stand at the time of trial. You know, in all likelihood, you've got questions or concerns about your own particular matter. Well, if you're contemplating bringing a lawsuit for medical errors and improper care by a hospital or a doctor, what I encourage you to do is pick up the phone and call me. I can answer your legal questions. You know, this is something I do every single day, and I'd love to chat with you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Jerry, G-E-R-R-Y, at oginski-law.com. That's it for today's quick video. I'm Jerry Oginski. Have a wonderful day.